Hello folks, we're back again.
We are.
And I'm over at Organic Cardboards.
You are.
The cardboard, this is your studio. Your studio,
Yeah.
his lair.
Yeah, it is my little man cave. That's upstairs cave. It's the upstairs cave.
Yeah, second floor cave.
Yeah, yeah.
Somewhere in K-Town,
A unique
Tennessee.
cave dweller. Yeah.
And what we're doing today is we're avid. Are you a super backer still on?
I guess so. Yeah. I don't know. It's not necessarily a title I'm proud of.
Yeah, it's like a title and shame.
Yeah, I guess I'm a super backer maybe.
What is it? I wonder what that threshold is.
I don't know. I think it might be like 10 within a year or something like that. I'm not sure.
Oh, the number of projects? I thought it was maybe a dollar amount.
Maybe it's a dollar amount, yeah.
If you know, sure. leave a comment down below.
Yeah.
So anyway, we back a lot of crowdfunding projects, especially between the two of us. It seems like something's always coming through.
Yeah, it does seem that way. There's always something you're putting money on.
There are a couple of rushes I've noticed in board games and crowdfunding stuff. So there's a rush in January, right, for those ones that are just trying to make it before Chinese New Year or Lunar New Year.
Yeah, makes sense.
And so, but there's also, it seems to be like around the end of summer. So you get that July to August is all the stuff that didn't make it through. And then took a little extra time, and then they ship real slowly over the summer and they arrive. So we're kind of cresting through the end, but there's probably a few more games that will make it to our table before the end of the year. I've got a couple that I'm pretty sure are going to make it, and Owen's got a few as well.
Yep. I've got a few, not as many as I have had in the past, but I think I had to kind of scramble a little bit just to find the ones that whatever, we'll get to it.
Well, I think I really started. I went hard and heavy around 2018. When did you start? When did this kind of explode for you?
Oh man, as far as backing goes, probably sometime around that time, because I think I just started to creep into the hobby around 2017.
Well, by 2021, I started getting a real discerning.
Yeah,
because you just run out of space. So now it's like there's a certain level of stuff it really has to hit, and the more stuff I get, that higher that level gets. So you're only getting top tier stuff from us.
Yeah.
It's all the stuff I haven't gotten yet.
I have gotten a little more discerning over the years, but there's still stuff to get.
Oh, I forgot something even on my list. But we can get to that later.
We can pop it in.
So my first one that we're going to talk about is Last Light.
Oh, Last Light. There it is.
To the best of my knowledge, Last Light is here. It was expected to reach its port on October 20th, but I don't think we've heard much about it coming out as far as like it being delivered to us. Now, Last Light is I have not played this, have you?
I've not, no, but I have been interested in it, just not enough to buy it. And I knew you were getting it. It's like, well, that's even more of a reason to wait. It's
actually been around a while. I believe there's like some small improvements, or maybe it's just a straight reprint. But you got a real good sense of kind of like the kitschiness of this game.
It's a really neat concept.
It's 4x in 20 minutes or something.
Yeah, the idea being that you run around trying to capture the last bit of light before the sun goes out. Is that what's going on? Something like
I don't know.
I don't know. It just looked cool and it had a Lazy Susan in the middle. So
it was well received by the gaming community, and a lot of people really seem to like it. I like simple, quick games.
Yeah.
That kind of satisfy, like when you don't have forever to spend. But you want something real thinky, and this just sort of looks like that.
Yeah.
I haven't really done much to learn anything about it these days. Games that are this popular, there's going to be tons of videos and other stuff to learn from. So I haven't even picked up a rule book when I should have. It was funny; these things just sneak right up on you. But I have a feeling I'll be able to learn this one in about 30 minutes.
Well, it's a neat, simple concept with those little marbles to represent the planets that work really well, as game pieces. So, it's attractive. I do have like Eclipse and stuff like that too. So I've kind of already got I've got stuff that's kind of fitting into that space 4X niche.
I didn't get the
space.
super fancy globes
Yeah.
or anything. I didn't go that far. I didn't even get the expansion. I simply just got the first one.
I just want to know if I can bounce these planets against the wall. Are they super bouncy balls?
I think they're like little thin,
Yeah.
clear pieces of plastic.
Probably, yeah.
I also got some more of these Z-bins that look neat. Yeah, there are all kinds of options to make it more and more expensive. I didn't fall for any of that. I was really good. I didn't FOMO too much.
He was a good little boy.
So, what did you have, Owen? What's next for you?
Oh, next thing up. Okay, we're just going to swap back and forth then, huh? Let's go over to Arydia and take a peek at that. So, Arydia is this big campaign game, one of the very last campaign games that I'm expecting to back because I've got a lot of campaign games. They're hard to get through. I love them, but they don't get to the table enough to warrant the space. But Arydia had some really cool things. In fact, let me borrow that mouse for a moment. They have, let's see, we're on the updates. Let's go over the campaign. So they have like pre-painted miniatures, and the miniatures you can like change the heads out with them, and they had like a pretty system for holding like your armor and weapons and things. So all these dual layer boards. And then they had a cool way too of like revealing. I wonder if we can find it without having to go too crazy through this. But to reveal some of the points of interest or the like getting into a building, like you'll have it like covered up, and then it'll flip over, and you'll be inside of it, and get to see some of the stuff. I'm not seeing that immediately really clear here, but you can see some of these dual layer boards. I don't know. It's more or less a basic campaign, or a basic fantasy kind of setup. But it just looked neat. They had kind of a neat combat system. Kind of reminded me slightly a little bit of like what was going on with Sleeping Gods, but maybe a little bit more direct.
It's by the people that made Zaya, right?
Yeah, so I actually got Zaya coming along with this. The guy's been working pretty steadily. He's been really good at doing updates and showing us, what exactly is going on the entire time. Dealt with his son, had cancer during all of this too, and he's still been just chugging along, keeping this stuff coming out. So really looking forward to it a lot. This should be possibly getting out by the end of the year here. It's very, very close. If it doesn't get here right at the end of this year, it's going to be very soon next year when it's coming out. So that's a big one that I'm looking forward to. It's one of the last big campaigns. They even have it where you can change the heads out on your characters, so you can like put a different style head on them.
The game state they were showing at the beginning just looks so busy, man. There's a lot of little moving parts there.
Yeah, a lot of characters. All these are pre-painted too, so that's kind of cool. That's something, especially for somebody who never gets around to painting.
It doesn't look like that. Like I know those are prototypes, but the quality looks okay on them.
Yeah, it doesn't look like anything. Even though there's a lot of busy little like chits everywhere, it did not look like it was an overly complicated game to play. But yeah, they just have a plethora of information here on this page without exactly showing those. Oh, here's some of the things. Okay, I was trying to get to some of the stuff I was actually talking about here. So you've got like, you can swap the heads out with all these different people. You've got they had like a small bodies kind of add-on thing where you could have, so if you have a dwarf, he's actually got a smaller body than, so he doesn't look like this awkwardly tall dwarf character. But yeah, your basic family friendly kind of fantasy campaign. I'm really looking forward to seeing what all that does. But yeah, so what's the next one you got going on?
I think let's take a look at this one. It's called Storm Raiders. And what do I have on this one? So this was should be here late December. So this will be here pretty soon. And I bought this game because of this art.
Yeah.
Isn't that nice?
It's like the kind of another post-apocalyptic Mad Max world.
Saw me coming.
Yeah.
I tell you what,
It works.
I was like, oh, I want to play whatever this is, the board game.
Yeah.
And then, okay, but that I'm a little stronger than that.
Oh, this is Shem Phillips too that did this, so that's interesting. Shem,
I've heard his name, but
Shem does all of these. So you got the Raiders of the North Sea,
really
of the East and the South. Now I think they've got like all those series of games, those little small box kind of contained games.
Okay.
So that's kind of interesting because this is a totally different kind of art style, and immediately makes you think it's a different person making the game. Though he doesn't do the art for the other ones, so his brother does the art for some of them. But
so take a look at that.
yeah.
There's something about a round player board that's just fascinating.
Is that
to
a
me.
world?
Yeah, so that's
the entire world.
Yeah, it's sort of like a windboard is. That's got the round board, and you'll be traveling. This is like an exploded look at the map. I don't think it's the entire planet, but you're going to be moving between these locations and sort of dodging a storm and stuff.
Oh, okay.
That's coming through, and then like gathering things. You have all these vehicles. Everybody's got like a submarine and a bike and some sort of aircraft, and you'll be going back and forth with those different vehicles and getting resources and stuff.
Looting as one does in the post-apocalyptic era.
As you do. Yeah, it's but man, it just looks neat. These are all the player boards are double-sided or dual-layered. I'm sorry.
Oh, and then is this a reprint or something, or like an expanded version? This has been out before.
No, I don't think so.
I saw a review already listed. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah. One of the 3-minute games guy or whatever the.
Well, people review prototypes and stuff all the time, but it was from what I've seen, like from people playing it, it looked like it was pretty well put together. I think this was like the final blow for me, looking at the way it packs up.
Is this a campaign game as well?
No, I don't think so. Not exclusively, anyway, or not. A lot of games I buy, like it might have a campaign with it. And I'm like, oh, that's something that whoever owns this game next can enjoy.
Right. Yeah, it's like I'm always whatever. I get on a side tangent about campaigns. I'm always so attracted to campaigns, but then in reality, it's nice.
The components for this game are, it's not a miniature based game at all. It's got a lot of cool art. It's got really, really cool art though, and that kind of makes up for, not having miniatures to paint. You don't have to have miniatures to paint all the time anyway. You got some standees for your people.
So it's all cardboard then for the standees?
Yeah, I think it's all cardboard. Yeah, if they were acrylic, that would be neat.
Oh yeah, acrylic is a nice cheat.
Boy, it really is.
It's a really nice cheat for.
I think it's kind of expensive though. Like I think it's a little bit more expensive than. Well, I'm sure
definitely more expensive than cardboard.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. This is like some kind of plastic component. I can't remember what all got upgrades. I like these custom dice, look neat. That dashboard, isn't that cool? So you got all your vehicles, and then you'll spin these dice. I think you roll those dice to the top of the round and you spin them. I did pay a little extra to get enamel medals. I think it's like $10 more. It's like, wow, no. It was payday. It was payday, and I decided I needed it. I don't think this didn't have a lot extra, and it was pretty reasonably priced. Not that I remember what that is. Oh wait, I've got it written down. Nope, I don't. It seemed like it was one of those games that's like $100 or something like that.
Yeah.
And I don't. Usually, if there's something alarming about the shipping, I'll write it in there too. But nope. Now I got the deluxe edition with metal medals. And that is Storm Raiders.
Yeah, that whole Arydia thing. I got it when I got Zio with it. The shipping and everything. It ended up being like maybe $10 cheaper than if I were to just buy the game outright, because it's just a reprinting of stuff that's already been out for Zio. And I was like, I'll do it. I'll wait. I'll wait for that $10 for 2 years. All right, so going on, moving along. Let's see. So this is a really big one that we're both looking forward to. Well, you didn't back this though, right?
I only didn't back it because you backed it.
Right, and it's
And
one of
because
those
you beat me
games-
so bad, I
Well,
put a bad taste in my
yeah,
mouth.
I
No,
did,
I'm just kidding.
did have the designer there in my ear the whole time. So the guys, Kinston Key Games, I did a interview with them at the last board game convention in town that we had, and they really nice trio of people, and they have just really knocked out of the park with this Galactic Cruse. We got to play it with them. We got to be taught by the main guy that's heading Kinston Key, and it's just really cool. You're basically just making these cruise ships that were again back in the updates. Let's go over the campaign. You're making cruise ships, and it's to space. So you got the E&O tool style art. So they actually.
It's kind of like Love Boat if it was a spaceship.
Yeah. their first big game that they got coming out. He's done a couple little small games, little like card games or something that nobody really paid attention to. But this first big one, they got the big hitters and everything. He's actually pretty close friends with Shem. We were mentioning Shem Phillips.
Oh, really?
Or fairly close. I mean, like, he knows him well.
He knows him.
He's in contact with him regularly.
Hey, Shem.
Yeah. He's actually who got him in contact with Ian O'Toole to do the
Oh,
artwork.
really?
Yeah. So it's kind of just one of those almost Lacerda style Euros. Surprisingly easy to pick up after you get taught the rules by the designer. But yeah, it's really cool. You're just making all these little pieces for your ship. They're gonna like cater to certain kinds. You got 3 different kinds of individuals that want to go on ships, either for pleasure or for excitement or something else. There's one other one. I can't remember what the other one is.
Dang, looking at it makes me want to play it again.
Yeah, it was really cool. So I'm really excited about this. This is just it's just coming right up there again. They're going to be he's pretty much got it all finished up. I think he's waiting for it to get the what do you call that, pre-release copy or whatever that the developers get. I think send them one like this is what's going to be sent out to everybody.
Yeah, they do a pre-production copy.
Yeah. So they have that. I think it's like either coming to them already. It's very close, and then they'll probably be getting that out early next year. So I'm really looking forward to that one. That's going to be cool.
That is cool, and it's one of the few games that we've gotten to play without before it came out.
Yeah, it was,
and with the person that made it.
Yeah, that was just a nice experience all around. These guys live really close to us actually too. They're in Tennessee, so
I did like that as a theme too. It was more of a cruise ship oriented,
Vibe,
and
yeah.
not versus just like the typical space fight.
Yeah, no, it's just a happy-go-lucky kind of game. You're running a cruise ship company. Yeah.
So I think I'm going to do this one next.
Okay.
We've got Tiny Epic Cuthulu. Now, I have a lot of Tiny Epic games.
I've got a handful. It's easy to collect them. They're tiny.
And
they are epic.
but I really like Cthulhu. I really like the Cthulhu mythos. Mm-hmm. And so I didn't pass on this, although I passed on quite a few of these lately.
Sean almost couldn't pass on it because his favorite game is Cthulhu Death May Die, and you're all into that whole world, so it's like.
And what's funny is that's so tongue in cheek for the whole mythos and stuff. I really love the story. I love the Lovecraft stories.
Oh, is that it's tiny?
Yeah.
Is that the tongue in cheek part?
Yeah. Well, that's part of it too. Yeah. But of course, if you're not familiar with Tiny Epic games, they all come in like the same size box. This kind of really, really small box. And I think some of the criticisms have been that they've made some design choices that oriented them to be in this small box. And then he's also made other games. And in fact, the next game we talk about is just the complete opposite of that.
Scott Alms is the guy that makes these games.
But this one...
Yeah, he did one that was not so tiny.
Yeah, still epic,
yeah.
but it fully embodied the epicness This great art for this, and it is here. It has the ships have docked. It's gone through customs, I think, by
Very
now,
cool.
and it should be shipping out real soon.
Yeah, I'll be looking forward to playing. Have you really looked into the gameplay that much, or have you just like kind of instant backed it from the?
I
theme
did
and everything?
I did Instaback it,
Yeah.
but because it's not very expensive and it's payday.
Right.
I've been drinking. Oh,
I'll get it. Sold.
the ones at the $20, $25, $30 range are not too bad. It's
Yeah.
when I get into like the $300 ones, I gotta like think about the next day
Right. Yeah.
and every day up until it's time for it to
Yeah,
go.
that's the nice thing with Tiny Up because it's like you're gonna get out the boat with like $50 usually roundabout by the time you.
But
shipping and stuff.
like Tiny Epic Max, I didn't like it all that much. I sold it. I sold it for like it cost me $5 to play
Yeah.
it once. You know.
I still have like I've got did you have Tactics too with somebody?
I still have
Yeah,
Tactics.
he has Tactics.
Nobody really likes that one.
I've got Defenders, and it's like it's kind of okay, but like Pirate, we both have Pirates. And,
I like that one a lot.
and that's a really well done game. It's surprisingly like kind of that's not a complicated game, but it's like it's a surprising number of rules to kind of condense in early on.
Yeah.
But yeah, overall though, they do
The zombies is like that too. Like I feel like I've got to learn a lot before I play the zombies one for some
Yeah, I
reason.
have not played that. I've got the dinosaurs, and I really like that a lot. It's
Yeah, we played
really
that
well
at
done.
the store.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so they've done some good stuff. We both have Vikings. Vikings was really
I
well
like
done.
that one too.
It's one of those games that's really good, but it's just sometimes you don't find yourself getting it out too much because it's like almost too epic for the box size. It's like it throws you off a little bit.
It's more like I'm at the beach and I'd like to play a big board game, but I don't have all I've got's a coffee table.
That's true.
That's what it's for.
Yeah.
So Tiny Epic Galaxy is one of my all-time favorite games.
Yeah.
I love that game, and so now I buy Tiny Epic things when they come out.
Yeah.
This one's got a little spinny dial, which was regaled. Is that the word for bad thing?
Oh.
People didn't like the
like
spinny dial and stuff, but they swear will work great. So we will put your words
And you're
to
going
the
crazy.
test.
You're going crazy here too, right? And all that stuff.
Oh yeah, that's
I
a
would imagine.
golden part of any mythos.
Yeah. Is it co-op?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think it's a cooperative. Does have a little Dizzed app to help you learn it. I appreciate when they do that.
the Dizzy app.
Isn't that what it said? Dizzed?
Dized.
It's dizzed.
The Dizzed app.
I've been dizzed.
He dizzed me.
He dizzed him.
Hey, Cuthulu dice.
Yeah, we got special like dice with little wings and
You can't go wrong with that artwork either.
tentacles.
Yeah. Lots of slimy things.
Yeah, it looks neat. I'll of course do an unboxing. I expect this to come like any day now. Hopefully, I'll have the video out before.
That'll be cool.
it arrives.
I'll really look forward to playing this. Maybe I'll feel bad that I didn't get it. All right, so let's move it on over and see what's the next thing I want to talk about. Oh, since we're talking about Tiny Epic, let's talk about the next Scott Alms thing that's coming out here. Now that I have it zoomed all the way down, as this is Heroes of Land, Air, and Sea. They did a deluxe reprint. You know, I have almost every bit of this content.
Really?
Already. Yeah. So most all this is already in. A couple boxes. I got to throw away one of them because I condensed them down with an insert. But it's a lot of content. This is the closest you're going to get to Warcraft on the table. Not World of Warcraft, but the original like Warcraft 3 or something like that. Yeah, it's a really cool game. I keep wanting to get this back out. It's a little hefty to come back to the rules sometimes. It's not a very hard game. It's just another rule set that you have to remember.
Yeah, yeah.
This little flying guy. So they have little clear stands that you can sit these on, and they've shopped it out a little bit or something to make it look like he's just flying by himself, but you have flying characters and stuff. Really cool though. You get in combat, you throw these cards down in between each other. You know, you have these tactics cards, and sometimes they'll cancel each other out. And so there's some fun little neat ways for combat, but otherwise you are developing more or less a little. You know, it's definitely very 4X-y. You're exploring and getting.
Is that a tableau or?
Yeah, these are like different things that you can build, characters and buildings and things like that. you're kind of just racing to get to a few different scoring conditions. I can't even remember what they all are off the top of my head. I think there's a few different ones though that can cause you to win.
Does it play sort of like the Tiny Epic things do? Like, can you tell the rule sets from a particular guy?
The only thing that's really got the DNA of it that immediately made me feel like is they have those little trackers where they do the resources. They just move the little chit up and down the little track.
Oh yeah.
So this all-in thing here is most of what I already have. I even have, and I did not. I guess because I bought this second hand. I even have the neoprene mat that goes with it, which is really rare for me.
Can you not see on that side?
Oh yeah, it may not be coming down all the way. Okay, there it is. So yeah, I even have this neoprene mat, which I never buy for these games. I even got the sleeves that come with it, which again I never buy normally.
Wow, you never buy the neoprene mat.
But it's because I got it secondhand. But yeah, quite a bit of little extra components, and you've got.
I'm surprised you didn't hawk it, honestly. He's the most anti-neoprene man I ever met.
I mean, I would maybe. I'm not attached to it, and I'm not bringing it to the game store. But this is actually what I got without the mat. I think there's like maybe they added some. I don't really know what it was that they wanted to add extra with the mat pieces here. But these two pieces were the ones that this is all I'm waiting for with it.
Scroll it up a little bit.
I haven't. Oh, it is cutting. It is cutting off on.
You gotta look on that side. Yeah. I was doing that too.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm just gonna get these couple pieces with my backing though, because these are the only other things that I had missing. It just adds some different, interesting tactics cards when you're doing combat, and the events of Ogmore is just some other little things that can happen, I guess, while you're playing that probably can either get in your way or potentially help you. But excellent game. It's a little older now. I can't remember when it first came out, but it's still very worthwhile. And if you like any kind of 4X games, I think you could enjoy this, especially if you're more of a fan of the fantasy setting. So a lot of different options still here. But yeah, I think they are not taking any pre-orders that I'm aware of. I think that's just getting ready to pretty much come out here just shortly. So yeah, neat stuff.
Yeah, if nothing else, a big reprint, so there are going to be a lot of these things floating around.
All right, so back to Sean and see what else you got coming on.
What a big game.
It is a very, very not tiny and very epic.
Like, those boxes are huge.
They are big, yeah. That's why I was glad to be able to condense one of them down. I had one of my boxes was actually ripped a little bit, and so I just tossed it and used the other one.
So these next ones are kind of questionable. I am not sure. I don't think they're going to make it by December, but they'll probably arrive around January at some point. And we're going to look at let's look at Conan.
Let's look at Conan.
Conan is it's an older game. It's been out for a long time. The rule set though is super simple. And I got the reprint of it, which I'm hoping. I've heard there were some stories that some of the rule set was a little confusingly written and stuff like that. Even though it's real simple, you know. It's been out so long that there's lots of videos to watch to kind of learn how to play it anyway.
Keep yourself up.
And I find that if I supplement some of those, if I can get some visualizations with those, then it makes reading those complicated rule sets a little easier. Or even if
this is a campaign, right?
This has, I think this has campaign elements, or you can play it as well.
Oh, okay, like you maybe just do regular one and done kind of thing.
Yeah.
I'm just kind of like a little too young to have really gotten into Conan. I think like when it was
the movies and stuff.
When it was in its big heyday, I'm vaguely aware it's sword and sorcery, basically. Well, not the game sword and sorcery, but it's like that
theme
genre of sword and sorcery.
Well, that's right up your alley. You like that stuff.
Yeah, I'm sure I would enjoy it. I just feel like it's almost like I was also like just a little too young to be into like all the He-Man characters. I know it's a different universe, but all the He-Man characters and stuff.
A little bit. So the original He-Man doll was supposed to be a Conan doll.
Okay.
Did you know that?
I could imagine because
they swapped the head out.
Similar, yeah.
They swapped the head out. Well, it was kind of either way, it's sort of real exaggerated.
I think I watched one of the Conan shows that was out, like one of the, I don't know, like
one of the movies.
I feel like there was a show that was out, wasn't it? That was like maybe in the 90s, like early 90s.
Well, maybe it's been around for a long time. Like I think it's from the 40s, 40s or 50s. And it's the same guy that wrote Solomon Kane.
Oh, cool. Yeah, and then
his name is here.
Yeah. Oh.
But it was. But this is an older. So I love King of Average, and I think he gives great advice for games. Big shout out to King of Average, and so
he's very discerning.
This is one that he really liked, and because of that, it kind of got my attention. Now this was actually a reprint with this Red Nails expansion, but I decided I just wanted to get a reprint of the core box, no expansion or anything. So I did a really bare bones kind of pledge on this.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But I think that's fine. This is another one that's just got bukus and bukus of expansions, and it can get quite expensive. Some of them were kind of hard to find, so a lot of people were picking them up while they could with this reprint.
A lot of scantily clad people.
Oh yeah. Well, so my Conan.
It's big chests all around. The guys' big chests, the girls' big chests.
So I started with Conan before the movies. I read the comic books, and the comic books were just like this.
Yeah.
You know, the Hyperion Age is.
Sure, it's kind of like not quite as bad as like heavy metal, but it's kind of got that somewhat similar art style a little bit to like remember what I'm talking about, heavy metal, the old movies.
Yeah.
Kind of ridiculous. Like I think they were based on a comic, weren't they?
Well, they were kind of well, the movie itself was like was just a collection of stories and stuff, and there was a heavy metal like a magazine or a comic. It's hard to decide what that was. I didn't subscribe to it, but I did see a couple of these.
You got a Cuthulu character at the bottom there? Yeah.
Yogoth.
Yogoth.
The Yag. You don't mean yag me with a sword.
He's totally not a... damn it, I have to ask you every single time, what do they call in D&D? The mind flayers.
Oh, yeah.
I remembered on my own. They didn't say it.
Deflate your mind.
That's like a mind
flayer. Man, that's kind of neat. I would have got that if I'd noticed it. Okay.
Are those metal?
I don't know. It kind of looks metal, doesn't it?
Yeah, they kind of look metal.
I bet they aren't. I bet that's just a shiny render.
Maybe, yeah. Well,
So,
the other ones definitely look plastic.
Shut Up, Sit Down did a review on this that was really interesting too, years ago. And they described it really well, that you could kind of either be conservative and play kind of a longer game, or you can just launch into this, like you can just spend all your energy and just do stuff and do stuff and do stuff until you're just until you're done. So it can be sort of a gamble where you're can I destroy this enemy before all my resources are gone? But you are rolling dice, so there's a lot of odds and stuff like that. So I don't know anything about how it's mitigated or anything like that. But look at all these cool miniatures.
You know, like I've really come to love War of the Ring over the past year, and I don't mind dice if they're done right. You know, if you can do them in a way where, you know, those probabilities even out by the end, and you can just keep hedging your bets. And sometimes cool things happen, and sometimes not so cool things happen. That's okay with me.
Did you see that Batman game that came out that had like, it was like a super, well, okay, it was it's not Marvel, it was a DC Universe game, I think. Well, it seemed like it was Batman and the Joker, but it had like everybody in it.
Yeah.
So they used a very similar system to this. In fact, I think they kind of took that Conan rule set and kind of reapplied it a little bit over there. And with that, the bad guys, they have this board, right? And there's this river system of like actions that they can do.
Okay.
So as they do stuff, it like I think you can do stuff to kind of send things one way or the other, but as they activate, depending on where they are in the system, they'll be stronger or weaker.
Oh, yeah, that's neat. I like that a lot. Yeah.
So I think the bad guy player can choose. It's sort of a one against many too.
Sort of a battle flow a little bit. Like Yeah, not quite like Oathsworn, but I mean, like, yeah, you're cycling out your actions and getting more powerful if you hold out a little bit. Yeah.
And again, I haven't played it, so hopefully I'm not just butchering it and getting it wrong. But that's what I understand from kind of the stuff I saw. But yeah, but it was a pretty, $90 for a core box.
With?
Yeah.
Yeah, you said the core.
Yep.
You got those stretch goals.
Yeah, so that's the other thing is buying the stretch goals for the original one from years ago. That was expensive, so
stupid. Yeah.
So it's kind of nice to get in on that action again.
Very cool. Well, it's right up my alley as far as fantasy goes. So
look at that scenery and stuff.
I'm sure I'll enjoy playing your copy.
Look, he looks like he'd be really cold.
He's never cold. His muscles keep him warm.
His rage keeps him.
Whenever I get cold, I just get angry.
I just get angrier and I polish my sword.
Then I calm down.
It's okay.
Once it's good, once it's fully shined,
it's
I'm
all
good.
right.
I'm fine.
All right. What do you got? Anything else?
Let's see. What else do I have? I do have a couple more things here. So let's talk about Robomon.
Oh.
This is right up Sean's alley. So I am a kid of the 90s and very nostalgic with both. Now you maybe played Mega Man. Did you ever get into Mega Man, the video games? All the Mega
I'm
Mans?
aware of it. I didn't really play it avidly.
Kind of arcade style games. So they kind of combined a Mega Man aesthetic with Pokemon and made it Robomon. But this is harkening back to all you kids from like whatever it was, 96, I think, maybe when Pokemon first came out. And, well, maybe it was earlier. Maybe it was earlier than that. I can't remember because I feel like they just had like a 20th. What year is it? It's 24.
2024.
Yeah, so 20 years from 96, and 20 years from 96 would have been 16. Wouldn't it?
Gosh.
Yeah, so it's time is moving, and all these kids are adults now and they still like it. But
now they have money and jobs. Hopefully,
yeah,
some of them.
I played a little bit of his he had some content that he put out for us to play with, so you can actually experience the game pretty well. From like this little starting scenario setup, but you run around, you're picking up these monsters and catching them with like some kind of, I don't know, they're robots, so you're using some kind of programming software thing at them or something to make them your buddies, and then you're using them to fight with. But he did a really good job with the all the little story content and all the little characters that you talk to and stuff. It's actually pretty entertaining and definitely harkens back. And these certainly look similar to like maybe even a Pokemon card or something, but shows what all their little attacks are and pretty basic stuff. But a little dice rolling and things. There's even a dice rolling mechanic just to catch these guys. You have to actually hit within a target on an actual physical box. But yeah, again, it's more for people that were right in that era.
It's got that 8-bit
kind
of appeal. It's not quite that bit though.
No, it's neat.
Not it's not like as far as Boss Monster goes.
This print and play that they had here, you could get once you backed it. He just has that out for you to play right away, so that's neat. But yeah, it wasn't overly expensive. What, $79? It's quite a bit of content that comes in that box too. And then, of course, if you're going to back it, you might as well get the one with the expansion too. That has all the extra little bit of goodies in it. I don't think I got the deluxe stuff with it. But anyways, this is supposed to have kind of been out already. He's kind of been lagging behind. He's still working on it. He's a little slow to get out his different updates for it, but you can see like what he's expecting for shipping and stuff. So it's not too bad. Quite a bit of stuff. Oh, it's another thing that's neat too is he put. Let's see. There's not really a lot of good examples on this page, but he has music. Here we go. He has music for. Like you can load it up on your phone or whatever. You can put a QR code. So every time you're going into a battle or you're just like in a zone, you can put this background music that's got that. It's very much like an
ambient.
Yeah, but it also sounds like Game Boy music kind of, and it's pretty nice. It's pretty well done. So I thought that was really neat. So it looks cool. I'm excited that he looks like he's putting a lot of his own heart and soul into this, and again he's probably about my age too. So. But it hopefully will start getting delivered out early at the end of at the beginning of the year. But we're kind of he keeps saying like it's basically all done, but he keeps tweaking little things. I think he's just kind of perfectioning this thing a little bit. He's trying to make sure he gets it all just right, and that's okay. He just maybe could throw a little more on the updates.
Yeah.
But he is updating at least. It is getting completed. So.
Yeah, some folks get kind of caught up in that reiteration before they actually get to.
This is the first big game that he's doing. He's done some really small little card kind of games, but this is the first bigger game. It's not a crazy huge game, but it is a campaign, and again, one of the last campaigns that I'm backing.
Is it mostly cards?
Yeah. All of your characters and stuff are going to be cards, and then you've got little chits for all the different things that you're doing with them. But yeah, you are using. There's no miniatures in this game. He didn't want to make it too expensive.
That's cool. It looks fun. Looks fun, especially if you're from a generation that watched this stuff.
Yeah, or played it. Really, it's the Game Boy game. It's very much feel like, especially with the music and everything, it feels like you're playing maybe a Game Boy Advance game or something version of one of these. And the artwork's neat. I think they did a good job throwing that Mega Man style into the Pokemon universe.
Yeah, I do like that. I like the few times I did play Mega Man.
Yeah.
Although was it Mega into it? Let's see what we do next. I think we've got Canvas.
Yeah, we got a couple more each here.
So Canvas, I've backed. Canvas was an early one that I backed, and then I got the expansion. I think I skipped the third expansion because I didn't play it enough. And then this big box came out, and I was just like really enthralled with the big box. So I went and bought the
Sean
third.
likes big boxes.
So I bought the third expansion, so there would be no holes.
Yeah. No
so you'd
holes
have
in
all
boxes.
the parts. And I've started. I really do like the rules and stuff that it added. So I am kind of excited to kind of put it all together and play it some more. But it is this added. I think they added just a couple of things with this, but for the most part, it's this box, and the box will hold absolutely everything. Of course, what was charming about this game is that you could take the box when you were done playing and hang it up on the wall like artwork. But they're like, you can still do that. It's just all the stuff. You won't have to ever pull it down and just be there forever.
That's neat. If you scroll down just a little bit, it shows like kind of the same thing on the box that you do with the cards. And it's got a little sleeve that goes over it. Yeah,
it's got a sleeve, and you can switch it out to either side.
That's kind of neat. I like that.
But the premise of this game is you'll have a colored background, and you'll have this transparent overlays that you'll lay down, and as you put those overlays down, it'll make a little scene. Let's see if it kind of shows it down here.
Yeah, a little bit. It's flipping through some setups already on some cards right there.
The trick with this game, all of this stuff at the top is irrelevant.
Yeah.
Here, you'll have a series of cards that'll come out with preferences for what people want to, the artwork people want to buy, and it'll be combinations of these bottom things, these shapes and colors on the bottom. So the more of those that you get that match up the preferences, you'll get little ribbons from the judges.
Yeah.
And those ribbons add up to points.
It's kind of it comes out as just being like an abstract symbol acquiring kind of points. It's just how do you get the points, and it's just about following the symbols and the colors and stuff like that and what scores.
It's a really simple family weight game. Like there they are hanging up the original. These are the way the original game boxes came.
Yeah, so they look like pictures on your. They don't even really look like a game. when they're hanging out. They look like a picture.
I actually forget that mine's a game sometimes.
Yeah.
Like I it's just been up there on my wall so long now.
So they do throw the theme in pretty well with that, and it is otherwise neat that you just randomly end up with a picture on your card at the end of it. So
yeah, several times we've taken pictures of the art and stuff, and everybody's always proud of it. But
it's otherwise irrelevant.
What's funny is people will make bad decisions to make their artwork look better to them.
Yeah.
And that's when I swoop in and win.
Oh.
So I don't get distracted by all that pretty stuff at the top.
What did you end up actually backing?
I got the box, and I think there's a little expansion with this one. I probably did this one, but I added in I think this is the last one. Wait, what was the last one? Finishing touches, I think. So one of these I bought at retail, so I bought the special wooden stuff that went with that expansion that I bought at retail. Everything else I've got like if you buy the Kickstarter version, usually you get little wooden components.
Like the easels.
Yeah, these easel things, which you can get at Michael's too.
Yeah, yeah.
I've seen those for sale. I think I got like some of these components for one of those deluxe upgrade packs. Yeah, like that. So I spent a bit on this.
Yeah. Now he's got to complete it. It sounds about.
But now I've got everything, and that makes it okay.
Yeah. I have a similar one for my next one here. If we're ready to go ahead and.
Yeah, go for it.
Transfer over. So this one I kind of hesitate even bringing up because it's not finishing. Well, it's kind of finishing this year. And this is let's scroll.
I meant to add too that Canvas is they've just done their last pre-production box, so I anticipate them printing it soon. So it'll probably be late January.
Yeah, so Super Boss Monster. This is one of the Boss Monster is one of the first like games I started collecting like the stuff for. Like started grabbing all the little expansions. This again harkens back to like 8-bit art. I think they went up to 16-bit art with the Super Boss Monster. But
well, that's Super Nintendo looking logo there.
Yeah, very, very much going for that, and this is, Super Nintendo, rather where the other one was more of like regular Nintendo. But yeah, it's a really neat game. We haven't actually got it to play together yet, have we? We haven't played it. Sean's not a big fan of this art. He's not a fan of 8-bit anything really. But I am, and the cards are really kind of unique and hard, and they have a lot of throwbacks to all of the just a bunch of either pop culture or other video games and things like that. But the Super Boss Monster just added like a little bit of extra elements with it. This kind of town that you're dealing with while you're going through more or less a similar setup to the other one, and this is one where I would not have backed it if I didn't already have all the other stuff for it and felt like I wanted to just get it all.
Finishing out your collection.
Yeah, more or less. They'll probably keep adding stupid little extra things to this, and I'll probably quit at that point, but this is one good box. I've got kind of a crappy cardboard box that they sold to hold the other ones. Kind of was reminiscent of a Pokemon card box that you would hold your 4 decks or something in to go take somewhere and play with people. But they add some other stuff. You got these little minions, and you got kind of like a town that you're dealing with, and instead of just having the base set up for the regular boss monster. But all this stuff I think kind of mixes in together. I think you can still use all the old content kind of mixed in with it. And anyways, it just puts it all together. I ended up going with which one did I go with? Let's see. I didn't go too crazy. I think I got the final boss here. So it gave me the big box, the actual game itself, and then it threw in some neoprene mats, again, that I'm not too concerned about, but they do fit in the box. So this can go up to 6 players, and it does not have room for 2 more. You can buy 2 more if you want. I didn't want them. 4's enough. I don't really like playing this any much more than a 2-player game, really. But yeah, that's super. So they're gonna. I think the pledge manager is actually ending in December, but they have pretty much everything done. They're going to be printing it like almost immediately at that point. So it's kind of just a pre-order at this moment. They don't really have a whole lot more to go with. But this is Brotherwise Games. I can't remember what they had. Call to Adventures, their other main one, I think. That but it's just to finish the collection, and otherwise, I would not have got it if I didn't already have all this other junk. But we've got one more.
Well, there's another one that I forgot to tell you.
Oh, sure.
Can you bring up the Cuthulu Death May Die? All right, so this one I forgot about, and then I forgot to put it on my list. I haven't forgot. It was supposed to come a year ago, like December, almost a year ago.
That's how they do.
That's when they said they would send it. And I'm not so naive. Like I said, we back a lot of stuff that I really expected. But you know what? These folks make a lot of these campaigns. They do it all the time. That's what they do. They should be able to predict better than a year off.
At this point, yes, they should.
And the other thing that's got a lot of people riled is that you could buy this in retail right now. In fact, you've been able to buy it for maybe 2 months in some cases.
Oh, wow.
And this one is just now hitting the boats for the U.S.
Yeah, it's a crappy practice when they don't get it to the backers first.
So I've done a lot of content on this channel about Cuthulu Death May Die. I painted all of the first version of this game, seasons 1 and 2, and all the extra stuff. And I was excited to do this one. It's the only game I played all of. Literally every single episode, every character in it, I played all of it.
That's impressive.
And that doesn't ever happen. So it was a sure end to kind of go ahead and get the next one. And of course, it looks great. It's really cool. Adds a few more extra little elements, like this little sideboard that I have not read the rules on at all. It's like, but it's got more characters, more monsters. The monsters were all really neat. Ended up being pretty expensive. That's what thing they do is they have so many characters for these things.
Oh, that is they live up to their namesake, cool mini or not.
Yeah, just many after many after
many. A lot of cool minis.
Lots. It took me about 6 months to paint the first one, and that's back before I had as many things I wanted to paint. So I'm not sure how long this will sit in the box before I start painting it, but. And there's more rules even for the stuff that came in the last stuff. So it's like, odds are you'll be playing with a lot of the stuff you had in the other things too. My big complaint with this game is that when you go to pull it out, it's another one with like, you got to pull out 4 or 5 boxes just to play one thing.
Yeah.
And I try to even make my own big box for this. And to do that would be like a box the size of your game table.
Yeah. That's the problem with CMON is it's so much content. It's just so much content. It's too much content.
It's really a lot. This is also the one that had the giant mini.
That thing's $180. Oh.
So I think when I bought the first Kickstarter, it was $230, I think, to get. And you got the game and this.
Yeah, jeez.
With the extra content.
It is not a miniature. It is the opposite of a miniature. It's huge.
At the time, it was the most I'd ever spent on a board game.
Yeah.
It was like, oh my gosh, this is like an Xbox.
I mean, that thing's like 2.5 feet tall, isn't it, or something?
I think it's like 18, 19 inches or something like that.
Yeah,
it's big. It's big. It sits in. He looms over the corner of my game room, and he looks really awesome up there. I love it.
Pimply ass and all.
It is the worst scenario in the whole game, but man, is he fun.
It was a fun time. It was one of the only ones that I played, and it was pretty epic right at the end.
Yeah, it's kind of like it turns it into a big party game.
Yeah.
With all the people and stuff there, because you got to play with a whole bunch of characters. I think you got to do the max out the characters at like 6 or something like that. Can't remember if it was 5 or 6, but. Yeah, there's a lot of content in here, and I got everything, just everything.
And then they have the there's another. The next one's the one with the Godzilla.
Yeah, so they've just. I don't know if they put it in their updates. Let me look real quick. I think it's on Game Found anyway. information. So they've got a new one that's coming out now, and it's got Godzilla.
Yeah.
And they're doing the kind of the megature, I think is what people call it.
That sounds about right, yeah.
But it's a Godzilla one, and he stands about the same height. I think I sent you a picture. I think that's like a prototype that was sort of blown up, or maybe it's forced perspective.
Yeah.
The picture I sent you looked like it was as tall as a little boy. It was like, ah! I love kaijus.
You like kaijus?
I love kaijus.
Yeah.
And I big monsters are my squishy spot.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I will.
To suck them in. All right.
I have a feeling it's going to be one of those game found stretch pays.
Yeah. so this last thing is Crokinole, and this is actually one that Sean and I backed together.
Yep, so we got both of those.
Yeah, so we got mahogany and beechwood. I can't remember which one I went with.
You did beechwood.
Yeah, that sounds about right. This is just a basic Crokinole board. They've been doing these for, this is the 8th season, it says. So so they've been doing these for years. They're cheap Crokinole boards, decent quality for how cheap they are. People are pretty happy with them. If you're a professional Crokinole board, you'll find plenty of things to criticize about them, I'm sure. For Sean and I, we'll be just happy to have a Crokinole board at the house.
I've never even seen anyone play it before.
Yeah, they bring it to the game store every now and then. I see some people.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I've seen some people bring it out. It's fun. It's a nice thing to piddle with in between like serious games. It's kind of got a, it's almost like playing a pool-esque kind of game a little bit. It's just one of those
dexterity
things,
game.
But if you don't know Crokinole, yeah, you're flicking these chits around and you're trying to hit them in the hole and you're knocking the other player out. And there's all these little rules for how to do this in a way that's going to get you more points than them. But it's a really fun.
It's a little bit like shuffleboard in that respect.
Yeah, or like what's the curling or something, like teeny tiny curling chits or whatever.
So you got marbles and shuffleboard and curling.
You'll wax these boards down and everything, get them all slick, and try to make those things slide as smoothly as possible. But yeah, just a fun little family game. Anybody can play it. You don't have to be a gamer. Anybody that likes to just, it's like, would be in line with any other. I'm kind of surprised you don't see these at bars more. I don't really think there's a whole lot to show on this page. There's just
the last campaign they did was right at 2020, and I had backed that, and then we all got sent home for COVID stuff. It was right before the lockdown, that chaotic time in 2020, and I canceled my bid because I was worried about spending money when I'm getting sent home for being furloughed. And so when this came up again, I was excited to have another chance at it.
Yeah, I think they've been trying to keep these around the same price for a while too.
It's exactly the same as it was the last time, which is impressive for the past 4 years.
Yeah. So the 2018 one barely funded for whatever reason. But it looks like I guess we can see what the actual amounts that they were getting for them. But some of these years they did really good.
Oh, I didn't even see they did it in 2022.
Yeah, it looks like they're showing all their different fundings that they had. Like the original one got pushing on it's over 350,000.
That's the newest one.
Oh, that is the newest one. I'm looking at these backwards. Okay, yeah. So whatever reason, 2018 was not the best year for them. But yeah, but nothing's too special. They've kind of talked about the factory they're getting these from. They had to kind of source around to make them cheaper. We actually got these little carriers with ours as well.
Yeah, we got the black ones, I think.
Yeah, just to haul them or hide them underneath your bed if your significant other's getting pissed that you've got this big Crokinole board you're trying to stick up on the wall like it's a art piece.
They have those. They had an option to put a clock for a clock you could put in the middle of it.
Yeah, does that? I wonder if that shows up here.
Yeah, there
it is. Yeah. It's
not you can disguise
don't worry, honey, it's a clock.
I was thinking that like also in my cubicle.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of neat because you could just pull it down, pop the clock off, and play it too. I don't really like this hanging device.
The pegboard at the top.
Yeah.
That's the score box and stuff.
Oh, is it? Okay. So,
Yeah, it's a little score box that holds all your little pieces.
I guess it's functional. It doesn't look as pretty as just this. You almost could get away with saying that's just a weird clock on your wall.
Yeah.
Except for this chunk at the top.
Yeah, that I would put somewhere else.
Yeah. But yeah, you can get Crokinole cards if you want. Yeah. Your fancy Crokinole wax.
There's kind of a story with their wax too. For some reason, it was declared a dangerous substance, and so they have to ship it separately.
Oh.
So that's why the wax won't come exactly with the board.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say they had to quit shipping them because
no, they are going to ship it, but they have to send it in a different.
I would imagine it can melt easily, so they probably have to keep it kind of cool. What we got for shipping prices here? I can't remember what we paid. We got the two together, so. I
think it was like $60 or something like that.
Yeah, 2 boards, a 2K. For some reason, it's more expensive to get not black cases. So it looks like it was $64.50 at least from what the page says here. I can't remember if it changed on us. But pretty decent. I mean, we got both of them for a little bit of a discount. Let's see. We got, where's the one that has 2? Each. Double with the case.
There's 1 and 1.
There's one that has, maybe maybe we had to add the case on afterward. No, I think this is the same as the other ones. The 270. Whoops, 270. Can't get that to slide in there. 278 for the 2 with the case. Split that in half. So under 150 that we got. Not too bad. Crokinole boards can get kind of expensive. There's the whole team, the whole Crokinole team.
Crokinole!
So we're looking forward to it. It'd be nice to just have a board around. I think it's a fun game. You can get it out if you're hanging out with your buddies drinking or whatever, or just grandma comes over and you want to just sit and piddle with something on the table with her. You can anybody can play. So.
Come here, Grandma. Let's flick some discs. This was interesting that they kind of they developed another product while they were making this one. So they discovered this other company wanted to make these elite boards.
Oh yeah, they did.
That had a whole different kind. In fact, they've been delivered already.
Oh really? Have they?
Yeah, the elite boards have been delivered.
They don't even show those on here. They had those probably in an update somewhere.
Yeah, that came after all this.
Yeah.
And so some people were upset that the elite boards were, delivered first. It's like, did you forget about us? We're the original board people.
Yeah.
But what happened is there were 2 different factories, and one of them was just really efficient, and the other one was a little slower, or a lot slower maybe.
They also had to really, again, source to get it as cheap as they did too, and to have decent quality. These are all I think they're laminated boards.
They spent a lot of
laminated wood.
The packing material and stuff that they put on it too. Like they look like they're really super well packed, and that's why they can't just like rip them open and throw the wax in there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So they're having to come separately.
Yeah.
Wax is super cheap. In fact, I bought us some wax.
Yeah.
I bought us also extra bumpers.
Okay. Cool.
Like different bumpers and stuff too. So.
Yeah. Cool.
I'm all set.
We'll get a game of Crokinole in before too long, but
that'll be an easy one to film.
Yeah, but I think that's about all we got. We've been rambling for a good minute.
Oh yeah, it's been a long video.
Yeah.
Hopefully the time codes helped.
Yeah.
Oh, future Sean, you're going to be making time codes.
Yep. Time codes and more codes and time codes.
We are both avid shoppers. Everything we buy, pretty much, we're going to come unbox and talk to you about. I like to be real upfront about what I paid for everything. No one's sending me anything for free. Not yet. Well, maybe one, like a prototype. We got our first prototype this summer. Yay, thank you.
Yeah.
But so this stuff is not cheap, and it is coming in all the time. So we're going to unbox and talk to you. Be sure to come by and see Organic Cardboard. He does a lot of great stuff. And I've had a lot of fun shooting in your studios.
It's been a good couple years. Yeah, it's been fun. So I got the Pecktec fish here representing Pecktec.
Woohoo! Folks, that's all we got for you today. We'll be back soon with more videos. Until next time, enjoy your games. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.